O Caesar.
Hence wilt thou lift up Olympus.
Great Caesar.
Doth not Brutus bootless kneel?
Speak hands for me.
Et tu, Brute? Then fall, Caesar!
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays...
We are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, oh, it's so good to see you. Come on in, your chair's open. And if you happen to be here during the live premiere, join the chat and say hi. We've got a great group of folks from all over the world who'd love to meet you,
The
too.
whip pack is there waiting.
And throw a like and subscribe on there for us if you'd be so kind.
We'd be grateful, yeah.
Our soap today also lands during June of 2024 when we are looking at some classic and iconic colognes and aftershaves worn by some classic and iconic celebrities.
Yes.
We want to know what Frank Sinatra smelled like. We want to know what some of these people might smell like. And so,
this is our chance.
while it is associated with a myriad of awesome celebrities throughout the last few decades, there's a special connection to the king of rock and roll himself. Elvis Presley was known to spray on 2 bottles of Fabergé Brut before his concerts. His bodyguard at the stage said, I didn't need to know when Elvis was coming. I could smell when Elvis was coming. What do you know about Brut?
I just know that the bottle, I've seen it go by that picture a few times, but I don't think I knew anyone that wore it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited to get my nose on it, honestly.
I'm sure I've picked one up and smelled one, but I don't really remember. But I'm sure it'll kind of come rushing back as soon as I do.
Right?
So.
But before we get to our soap, we have a mention.
Yeah, we do.
We do a
This
special
is a
mention.
very special crown jewel in the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements lineup. There is no soap. There is no full Monty associated with this because it's its own thing.
It is.
Much like its inspiration, the Malamute Huxley. And this is Huxley's Better Blend. This is a spearmint single scent note aftershave, and it is a phenomenal summer scent. What do you think about this one?
I feel like I will go to it all year round. I love that he's running on sand and it is that summer vibe.
Yeah.
But it really does make you feel like, when you hold your pup or you snuggle in, there is something with that scent that comes across too. I don't know why it's spearmint, but it totally
Every
works.
dog I've ever had has been bananas for mint.
True.
So I'm not exactly sure what it is, toothpaste or whatever it is.
But the
It's
first
just
time we went to go meet Lainey, I had put on mint chapstick. And I remember the first thing I grabbed her and she wanted to lick my face. And I'm like, what is going on? There you go.
She has been a fanatic for it ever since. So
Yep.
yeah, we
All my
kind of
fault.
get it. There might have been a connection. So I love this aftershave when I'm just not looking for an aftershave, when I just want a beautiful scent to follow me around on our walk on a summer morning.
Yeah, maybe not even after a shave, just to smell good and throw it on and we're gonna break you up a little bit.
Love it. So, our soap today, y'all. Beware the Ides of March if you were a Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements fan around here, because we thought we might have missed it this year, but then it was there to surprise us at the end of the month. Ladies and gentlemen, let's meet this Shakespearean soap. All right, y'all. So from the sales page at Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements.
Et tu, Brute?
Sure, why not?
I actually think my version is truer to the original Brut created by Fabergé back in 1964, as it was originally released as a rather pricey, long-lasting cologne as opposed to the diluted aftershave we all know today.
As with all of my aftershave colognes, you will find nothing but the best face-saving ingredients with a lasting staying power that would make berry white blush.
In short, if you are a true Brut fan, you will absolutely love Et tu.
Try something different. Phoenix shaving.
Well, there
I
you go.
don't know if we have covered a more iconic aftershaver cologne that we don't really know what it's going to smell
and
like.
I gotta say, we got into this for all of the shaving soap stuff, but then it overlaps with a lot of this kind of vibe of all these old factory scents and stuff that we are just now barely tipping the iceberg to get to know. So Brut is a one that everyone knows.
And a superstar in the shaving community. We had to wait and wait and wait and wait for this to come out. But the day is here. Let's unbox it. All right, y'all, this is how it comes from Phoenix. Oh, we have 2 sets in here, so we're going to have to roll the
50-50
dice and
chance.
see
Let's
if we're opening the right aftershave. Hold on a second. Let's see.
Please hold.
Ah,
I think it
this
is.
is it.
Okay.
This is
And then,
it.
oh, wait, look.
Yo! I don't mean to alarm you, but we got the hollow label! Oh, this is perfect, friends! Oh, I'm excited. I didn't know if I jumped on this.
I have no idea.
I got the hollow label.
Yeah.
I'm excited, y'all. Let's have a first impression.
actually am even more
Holiday.
excited because I didn't know that that's what the label looked like. I just let Marcus get this, and we're going
I think
for
that's
it.
like a Julius Caesar
It
or
must
Brutus.
be, right?
That's awesome. Oh, and there's like text.
There is like old Roman
there are
something.
hidden hieroglyphs
I'm sure
and things
there's
like
some
that on the
trivia in there
siblings.
for those who know.
Now, the one word associated with this and everything that we watched and when we were researching a little bit about Brut was masculine. So this has not been produced by Fabergé since 1989. This has been turned over to a couple of other fragrance houses,
Okay,
but it's still
gotcha.
been produced in the same bottles. It is still,
You can still get it.
close to the same formula. However, the original formula has been jettisoned. No longer. It's been recreated, as I understand in this.
So this is supposed to be more of an homage to the original.
1960s masculine scent. Let's see
All
what
right,
we've
which
got.
is actually super fun because we did do some of the classic aftershave homage
Yes,
stuff.
back
So we
in
kind
February.
of know that era, but I'm
Right.
curious to get it more in this kind of cologne vibe.
that is
you
it.
know?
We've got the Sacre Blues going on. We've
Right.
already got the Aqua Velvas figured out.
So
We've got
this
the
was
Green
that
Irish
same, like,
Tweeds,
generation.
More of it later on.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going back in time a little bit, back to the 60s.
Okay.
We did C4 Diver Down.
We did, yeah. So,
it's
but that was
interesting to
definitely
see
more
where
the
this is
aftershave.
gonna fit in.
This is more the
Tetris
cologne
game,
vibe,
right? Because this
right?
is its own thing, right? All right, here
I'm
we
curious. I gotta say, I have no idea what to expect. I'm guessing the more masculine
go.
side.
Now
but
snakes might pop out of this. You don't know.
The
because
Roman
PAA soap.
No, I think we're
okay,
good.
we're safe.
But that for same color here. All right.
Dagger comes out. or
Let's see if I go back to the 60s here. Oh, interesting. I feel like I may have, known somebody that had something similar
Yeah?
if it wasn't
Is it familiar?
there. It is familiar.
Nice. Your dad might have even.
I have
worn
no
this.
idea. It could have been an uncle, anybody,
Right,
but
right,
there
right.
is something familiar about it.
Nice.
I did a little time warp in the best of ways,
Good.
but it's still, it's fresh. It's clean.
Nice.
So I feel like it doesn't have to be. Like, you could totally rock this now,
Right.
if that makes sense. There is definitely a fougere-ish, greenish kind of thing happening here.
Nice. Now I remember one word from something we were watching,
Okay.
and it was lemon. Are you getting lemon? at
Oh,
the
that's
beginning?
funny. I was just thinking, do I get a sweet here? I don't think I really do, but I get a
Oh.
bright and I get a clean.
Wait. It's a 60s aftershave, and it's not sweet.
There's something that's keeping it tame, and I think it might be more of the citrusy lemon side.
Right.
Because it doesn't go like too sweet
Is it more
gourmand.
of that like savory citrus we've come to
I
discover?
think so, because it really goes well with whatever the greenish stuff that's happening here. So I feel like even like the lemon peel-ish maybe, or something like that. Like, it's not as sweet.
Nice.
It doesn't go sour, so maybe more that bittery clean kind of
And
thing.
then beyond the citrus, what are the spices like?
They're lighter. And it may even be mixed in with like a florally something.
Right.
There's something in that's keeping it like, it's not a powder, but it is that clean freshness you get from a powdery vibe.
Right. Now, y'all, the 60s. Iconic, brute, masculine. How is this masculine?
Okay, so it is masculine, but it's not like the dark, heavy masculine.
No, like
if
the
that
tobaccos,
makes
the patchoulis,
no,
not
it's
those.
much more that clean, fresh. Like, I know it's funny to think of, but I think of the 70s as being outdoors. I don't know why,
Right.
but a lot of the stuff that you see, or
lot
even
of
the
the
music
woods and things
festivals,
like that, right.
like everything was kind of outside in the 70s, like, and just hanging out. And I get that vibe here. It's a lighter freshness that's happening.
Nice.
So it's not, I think that's why it's still sort of current now,
Right. Yeah,
because
yeah,
it does have that clean freshness without getting too dark or too deep.
Right. So
Or
I feel
too
like in the
spicy.
60s, there might have been like a little bit of a divergence. And some of the
Mm-hmm.
colognes went more of those spicy, musky,
Right.
sort of darker tobacco patchoulis. And then the others kind of
that
went in the
fougere-ish
other,
kind of
come
thing.
on, people now.
Yeah.
Smile on your brother. And it was more about the lighter
Right.
sense and more about those
But
things
still
while maintaining its
masculine.
masculinity.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
so I'm getting that for sure. I'm curious if you would get what I'm going for here.
it's been 6 months since I heard about it too. And I have just
Finally get to
wondering
open
ever
it.
since. All right, here we go.
Okay. A little fun time warp here. See what Douglas does to Brute.
Oh, wow. Whoa. Yep. I can tell that this is like the scent that spurned a family.
Right? There's
sense.
a lot of like connections to it. We've
Right.
had stuff that's, I don't want to say similar, but you could tell is connected.
Well, like when I smelled Sauvage for the first time, that's why I was like, oh, this is a grandfather of a big family of scents that came from it. That's the first thing my brain went was like, wait a minute, you are at the top of a family tree here. This is something that inspired a whole world of colognes that you do know, but maybe not quite the OG. Let me see.
There's some depth to it, though. Like
There
it's
is.
in there. It's just well mastered.
Yes, and I feel like there is one scent note that dares take you down to the lower floors, and then the others keep snapping you back like
I'm
a
with
little
ya.
bit of a yo-yo, right?
Right. I don't know if it's like a deeper oak mossy, like there's something that's a darker scent of the fougères in there somehow, but the other stuff is keeping it lighter and brighter.
And you know what I like is that this is not, like a lot of the aftershaves from that time have such an identity that you're going to have trouble pulling out the scent notes. Like, you know, Floyd Amber, it's got, I guess you could say it's got a little bit of a powder to it, but it's such an identity that I don't think about the scent notes. I think about Floyd, right? So with this, beautiful, because I am being invited into those scent notes. I'm not being given like a giant, hi, I'm Brute and this is what I smell like.
Which is what I kind of expected.
It's like, hey, my name's Brute and I got some cool scent notes going on, and which one would you like to explore first? That's what I'm getting.
Like I get a friendlier type of masculine to it.
So I do get the citrus, and then I do get a little bit of like a lighter musk. I do get some florals. And they are beautifully swimming around in here. I think it's in the movement of some of these scents that they have their charm. I think some of them are more of like, well, a single scent note, like a spearmint, right? Then Huxley's Better Blend. There's not a lot of dancing going on in there because you're just enjoying that one beautiful John Coltrane solitary note. But in this, there's like this movement going on.
Right. And they just kind of keep re-clicking when you keep taking different whiffs.
Right. Yes. And so it's that. And it's giving you each note to explore separately, but you're really feeling how they dance together. Well, it's Brute. It's iconic.
I get why. It's actually kind of cool to know that that's what we're smelling.
There's a reason this endured.
Right. And I do feel like, you know, there's a lighter side to this where some of the other 70s ones are very specific in character, and that was what you wore, and that was the times. This somehow kind of grew with the times somehow. It has a little...
And I was about to say, there are way more florals in this than I was expecting.
Yes.
I thought this was just going to go kind of syrupy sweet. And, well, I grew up with the Avon colognes of the 60s, right? So the florals in this are beautiful and masculine.
That's why when you asked if it was sweet earlier, I was like, I don't really know because I get something else.
Right. Nope. See, I think this is perfectly sweet, and I guess my brain's showing me, like, when I have my coffee in the morning, I have 4 Splendas in my big coffee. If I have 2 Splendas, it's a little bit too... If I have 5 Splendas, it's too sweet. And it takes over. So while the sweetness is a beautiful thing, I think much like the coffee, the perfumer needs to know where it stops so that it keeps bringing you into where the perfumer wants you to be, but it doesn't keep taking you beyond it. And wow, does this have that perfect coffee idea of like the sweet is right where it needs to be to bring you in and let you know that this is a masculine guy, but he's a sweet masculine guy, but it doesn't go too far because this is still a masculine guy. And I love that. I love that balance.
And the image I keep getting, I know we just were kind of watching some of the old Shakespearean stuff where the Romans all wrapped in that canvas color. But if I smell for that lighter, brighter kind of a color.
Oh, yeah, they're all in like the white
and my brain keeps finding that.
Senate.
And I think that's what's leading me towards the florally kind of cleaner side. But if you smell for more of the greenish fougere stuff, that will take you down a different route.
Right. Well, it's like you're smelling like the laundry of the togas, but you're also getting the green of the laurels around the ears, right? A little bit of aroma.
Yeah, smell for more of a whiter color.
Okay.
And then smell for more of like a greener.
It's just a beautiful, clean, bracing scent at the top. That's what the citrus is doing. That's what the woods are doing. It's just so clean. I mean, I thought this would get musky and spicy and kind of on the dirtier, smudgier side, but not at all.
I mean, it definitely has an ode to the 70s vibe getting there, but...
Oh, and I don't think I've ever really smelled citrus and floral getting along this well. Is that kind of what you were asking?
I mean, I hope if they're in there, because now that we've kind of listed them, but...
Yes, that's what's keeping this beautifully light. I don't think I've ever really sensed
I'm sure once we build the lather and kind of get more into the splash side, there might be more that, you know, this is just straight off the puck. But there is something clean and fresh about this.
This is my biggest lather bowl, y'all. This is my Hotel Cecil bowl. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, and a beautifully soft syrup.
Yeah, you've been waiting since March to bust this open.
Really
so,
I've been so excited about
but
this.
we knew we were having this theme come in and all these people that we had to refer back to.
Yes, right. Yeah, what a better way to bring this into Celebrity Aftershave Month. And a Brute scent, Elvis and all.
I know, that's funny to think of Elvis wearing this, though. Like, now that you get your nose on it, I'm like, okay, it's the perfect masculine, but also coolness factor. Like, there is something different about it.
Right. All right, y'all. This is my Atomic Rocket. This is my very first shaving brush from Phoenix, Artisan Accoutrements. And this is my 30-ounce Hotel Cecil lather bowl. Y'all, it is porcelain coated. Let's see.
You can hear that slopping there.
All right, y'all. This is the Suspicious Minds whiff. Here we go. On 3. 1, 2. Oh, I get it. I get it. Sometimes you want the concentrate, but sometimes when you add the water, it just comes to life in a beautifully more balanced way.
There's like a little disguise and like an amber, like a little sunshine in there.
Yes, yes. Something twisty and bracing.
Something a little different, a little more 60s, 70s-ish, maybe. It's something, a mystery something is in there. Actually, it might be close. It's something like that.
I know where this book ends at the scent notes.
Wow.
Marcus was right! Someday. All right, y'all. So the scent profile for Et Tu.
Lavender. And then this is where you were right. Anise. Oh, we were right on the citrus. Here we go. Lemon.
Well, that's the one I was cheated. I knew there was something.
Oh, okay. And then basil.
Wow. Wait, hold on. Wait. That would normally, when you see lavender, lemon, basil, and the next one, bergamot, you're going to Barbershop Town. But y'all, hold on. Hear my face. This is not a barbershop. No, this is a beautiful.
This is where it totally takes the twist after this.
Yes, like you said, a 70s outdoor day.
Right?
This is something different.
So after bergamot, then we have geranium. So that's some of the floral.
Yes, right.
Then somebody wanted to help.
She smelled Huxley's Better Blend, so she wanted to come up with
running.
it. Okay, let's say from geranium. That floral in the middle is so cute. The florals are coming out now.
Yeah, they are.
In the lather,
and this is where it switches from a not even close to barbershop.
Right.
Then we have ylang ylang.
Yep.
Jasmine, another floral. Sandalwood.
Yep.
Then, here's some of the green action. Vetiver.
You know, I get the sandalwood, but the vetiver might be one of those things that's kind of acting like glue that kind of just brings the others together.
At the beginning of my first whiff, I definitely got a little bit more of that green. Oh, and then oak moss, I was right. More of those kind of in there.
And then look, Marcus was wrong. Patchouli. Oh, that's fine. That works.
Yes.
Martin, there is patchouli.
There is patchouli. And then, here's the sweet part. There's vanilla and tonka bean.
The two best friends. Now that makes sense.
Right.
That's how this is being sweetened up along with the citrus, along with the florals.
Yeah.
Whoa. And you know what's funny? There's a lot of sweet notes in here, but they've all been tamed.
Yes.
All of those sweets have sort of been well balanced with each other and then sort of arrested so that they don't go too far. Because I think if they did, you'd lose part of the masculinity of this. And I think that's where some of the magic is. Because
and that's what
once you
I was
stop
gonna
the
say
sweet,
too,
you can dive into a lot of these. What are you sensing?
So I was thinking, like, if you take all of those scent notes, but find the masculine side of each of them and put them together, that's kind of how they're connecting the way they are.
And I think the anise is being sort of like a binder in there. I don't sense it directly. I do sense the bergamot. I do sense the geranium, and then ylang ylang. I do sense the jasmine and the sandalwood. The vetiver then, I think, is another binder along with the anise. But think about anise and vetiver going together.
Right.
That makes sense.
But they actually are kind of like they mystery stuff.
Right.
Like almost like when you smell an oud or something. Like there's something earthy about those two things together.
Yep.
Not completely dark.
Right.
But it does have that side to make the rest of the scent brighten up.
And then, you know what's helping, I think, to arrest that sweet is the oak moss. Y'all, we have had a couple of oak moss forward soaps in the last few weeks. What an education. And that is such a ubiquitous ingredient, but what it's doing is unexpected. Once I really smelled it, I was like, oh, that's the oak moss.
And now you can like smell it in here and see how it kind of is the key into the other stuff.
Right. It's a dry herby, but it is not sweet, and it does these amazing things with the other things that are.
Yep. And it does have a masculine side
to
it. I don't know how that works, but it really does. Like a subtle masculine vibe comes through. So now that you've smelled this, can you imagine that Elvis would have used 2 bottles just like glug, 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 glug before going on stage?
He would spray 2 bottles of the EDP, and he would then put on 1 bottle of the splash.
That's unreal. How do you breathe?
You know what's interesting, though? You know what's interesting? Is this scent, I don't know if you could actually get enough. Is that a weird thought? Because there are some aftershaves that you definitely can.
Right.
But there are, for me, some aftershaves where, like, I will put on 3 or 4 coats because the scent is so beautiful. I can't get enough. It almost can't get too strong.
There's nothing pokey
in that.
This? If that makes sense?
Right. If it has an absolute lack of pokiness, could this be something where, like, you can put on as much as you want and it just keeps getting better? Was that the proof?
Or when he takes off his bandana and throws it out, it smells like Elvis. It has his, like, little thumbprint on there.
No, it doesn't. And I'll tell you how I know that when we go deeper. All right, y'all. So I worked with a lady named Patty once, and she had grown up as an Elvis fanatic by every stretch of the word.
Okay.
And when he played Reno, he did like a 24 performance residency, I think.
Okay.
She went to the maitre d' at the very beginning of the residency, and she asked him, because this is how you got your tickets back then.
Back in the day.
How much for a front row center seat for every single show? And that's the deal she cut. And there were nights where she sat next to Priscilla. And one night somebody came up and asked her, hey, Elvis wants to know how you get that seat every night. And she said, Elvis knows exactly how I get that seat every night. And he threw her 3 scarves over the course of that run. And she also saw him a ton of other times. But there was one day at work where she brought in a box of those scarves. And she had never washed them, and she took them out of the box, and she opened, and you could see Elvis's sweat. And they were kind of like, they weren't like super iconic, like sequins embroidered.
Right,
no, they were just like very simple, nylon scarves, and they were about, 2 or 3 feet square.
But that was his signature.
And he would just wear them around his neck, right? And they smelled terrible. Terrible. They still smelled like sweat. And peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches. That's what they smelled like.
Wow.
So I think
that did not help.
The brute might wear off after 20 or 30 years.
Okay.
So just as a heads up. So
maybe not, but close.
Right, yeah.
Well, and think about it. If you're going to be sweating on stage, like both of us have spent time on stage, there is a lot of energy that you put out. You're going to be sweating, especially on those stages.
It's funny. Generally, you're not allowed in musical theater to wear colognes on stage in case they conflict or in case they bother somebody.
Same as a dancer, especially if you have a dance partner. Like, that is way too close. But
they don't know this.
No.
I feel like if you went to the producer ahead of time and said, hey, would you smell this, please?
Would this be all right?
We can wear this, can we? And by the way, we've got a splash over here. This is just so good. We haven't even looked at that.
Clearly having too much fun telling stories here.
Did your grandparents like Elvis?
Yeah, I did. It's funny. I think I got more Elvis later on. Like, I remember even having a flashback to like when Lilo and Stitch came out, and it was full of Elvis, and I was like, oh yeah,
Lilo's
we
the
knew
giant Elvis fanatic, right?
And I was like, oh, I know these songs, but it was just different that it had such a comeback through that movie. Like, even my like later on generations were banging some Elvis then too. Oh, that was an easy.
This came up in one piece.
That doesn't always happen.
Send your congratulations to me. Sent you.
It's gonna be a good day. Okay,
this is awesome. Yeah, my grandparents would get on a bus in Stockton, California on Thursday night and go up to Reno, see Elvis, come back at midnight, and go back to work the next day, Friday morning.
I mean, why not?
They were so much
Just
cooler
sleep
than
on the
us.
bus,
They saw all the people with one name, Elvis, Garland. I mean, it was bananas.
And was that in Reno where we were just watching
Reno.
about the movies? I mean, about the... Oh,
Here I am just diving into this.
Yeah, he no time for stories here.
Wow. The depth in this. The depth in this.
I was kind of hoping this would happen.
This is bananas. And you know, it's funny having this little show that we have. I have joined a couple of frag groups on Facebook. And y'all, the frag people, they hold these in super high regard, and these are the criteria. I'm looking for my favorite aftershave, but I need it with better ingredients. And this happened the other day, and I posted Douglas's Curve, his Casi Perfecto homage to Curve. And somebody was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, they hadn't heard of it yet.
Because people in the frag world want their throwbacks to back in the day.
These are quality ingredients. So it's almost like listening to your favorite song, but listening to it with incredibly well-trained musicians. Like, that happened to me when I went and saw Lennon in San Francisco. Like, John Lennon was a beautiful songwriter, but not the absolute greatest trained voice in the world. So to hear his music sung by amazing Broadway singers was like, wow,
that's where it can go.
That's this for me.
And you didn't even put it on yet. You're just whiffing out of the bottle. Hold on. He's
like,
flabbergasted.
I'm not worthy. I think Brutus is going to come out of the woodwork and slay me.
Fun fact, one of my first dogs growing up was named Brutus.
Right, yeah. You know what? I know it's not in here, but I'm getting a little bit of a hint of like a 60s cashmere kind of a thing going on.
Okay. I think that anise and lavender.
And the lemon.
There is definitely a barbershop back in the day that we smelled, and it had those two in it. And I remember us at the very beginning being like, what is anise? And now, smelling this, I'm like, duh.
I might have to take back my statement. Yeah, I don't think this goes so barbershop for me, but I get that everything that's masculine and clean and beautiful and comforting about a barbershop is for sure here. And I don't think there's a barbershop in 100 miles that doesn't have a bottle of this on a shelf.
Oh, no, I get it.
Next to the Club Man.
Is it Cad that has a little anise in it?
Yes.
But it's different. It's like the Douglas kind of a vibe,
It's not Caturday yet, but I'll find out. But yes, I think so.
But there's something about the dryness to anise.
I don't know how that happened. Down on this? It's less sweet now, but it's way more beautiful.
So smell it on me, because there's something with the floral lavender hit at the beginning I was not expecting.
This is the estrogen whiff, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, whoa! Wait a minute.
almost
That
the green
cashmere turns into
disappeared.
something a little bit different.
Right. I don't know what that is, but like the vanilla to geranium, jasmine, anise, lemon, lavender,
Wow.
basil. Something here is like, I just walked out of a 70s, 60s.
Yes. And it's
Barbershop
not
something.
that
It's
the
not.
sweet is less sweet. It's that it's widened. Now
Yeah.
it's like just spread out a little bit.
What the overall word I still get when I smell it is clean.
Yes.
Like immediately. That's the
Absolutely.
first I'm like, and I'm clean. I feel like I just went and got all dolled up and I'm ready for the day.
And I think why my brain sort of sensed this as the grandfather of a family of scents was this is the earliest yet the cleanest
Yes.
one I think that we've got.
I'm
I
with
think we
you.
have found
Yep.
the moment where that off-ramp happened, where it was
Yep.
going from like those muskier, more tobacco-y, more
Yes.
patchouli sort of based ones into something lighter and brighter and citrusy and different and different.
Different.
And different.
I was not expecting this.
Right. This being one of the ways that we are able to recapture the original scent of Brut, because the formula they use now is a little bit diluted and not quite the same.
Right. So now,
You know
aren't
what I
we
mean?
happy we have the Et Tu version to keep us honest here? Yeah.
Y'all, and it's pretty simple. All you have to do is be a beloved Roman leader back in the Roman Senate, and your best friend is going to come over and offer you a nice lemonade. Well, as soon as you take it, you're going to feel a sharp stabbing pain. It ain't food poisoning, because you just got your own. So head over to their website at phoenixartisanaccoutrements.com, or even better, do it by way of the link in the description. It's an affiliate link, which lets them know that we sent you, and it gives us back a small percentage of the sale, which we'll probably spend on soap so we can make more episodes. It's at no cost to you, and we would be grateful. Well, I've had my shave, y'all, with Et Tu, a fabulous scent, and giving me appreciation for what Fabergé is doing, because between Black Shroud and this, there is sort of this softer, masculine, bold sense to these that I'm not sure how they're doing in the blend, but you can definitely tell they're cousins. If you like one, you'll probably love the other. And y'all, the Phoenix shave continues to be one I look forward to, not just because of the base, not just because of how it makes my razor feel, but because of the scent intensity, because of the scent quality. Everything here is being done right. Douglas and Fran, thank you so much for this. Welcome to Messages.
So our friend Craig from Opus Brush sent us both of these so that we could have a giveaway for you.
Oh, you get your choice here on YouTube, and then we're going to give away the other one on an Instagram Live at the end of the summer. So all you have to do to be eligible is send an email here to WeSetYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so we can get back to you. Be a subscriber here on YouTube, and maybe check out Opus Brush on Instagram would be nice. Check back here July 3rd, y'all, to see if you are our lucky winner. And
Best of luck.
So, y'all, Sarah's done a little bit of research, and it wasn't just Elvis Presley, of course, who's famous for wearing Brut. Who else you got?
But now that you're smelling this, keep this in mind as
Yeah.
they read the names.
Yeah,
See
yeah.
if that actually kind of makes sense.
There
Of
we go.
course, it was
You
on
guys can
Google.
play along
We
at
hope
home.
this is legit,
Right.
but
There
you
we
know.
go. So, can
All
you
right.
picture?
All right, we have Elvis Presley,
Yep.
then Chuck Norris.
Okay, hold. Yeah.
Fun, actually.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Kicked in the face by this set. Okay,
Right?
and then?
Nick Nolte.
Makes sense to me.
Bruce Lee.
Love
That's
it! Talk
fun.
about a masculine 1960s icon.
And then Leonardo DiCaprio.
Love it. This is not an aquatic, but
No.
I get it.
Burt Reynolds.
Makes perfect sense to me. Boy, even better than Elvis.
Right?
Burt Reynolds. This is a
Okay.
Burt Reynolds
And then
scent.
also supposedly David Bowie at
Hey,
one point.
love it.
Okay.
It's the floral. It's the citrus side, right? It's the redefinition of
I
masculine.
know, but
that
think of
this
all those
did.
men. Like, they all are different types of masculine.
Very different.
You
Can you
know?
imagine David Bowie and Burt Reynolds in a room together?
That's
I'd
what
kind of
I'm
like to
saying.
see that.
It's a
as
very
matter of fact.
versatile, masculine kind of thing going on, clearly.
Wow, this is the most fun I have had with a classic aftershave
I know.
in a while.
And we actually got to read Shakespeare on our videos, which is kind of tying
Shakespeare.
our worlds together.
This is exciting.
You know?
And nobody said Macbeth.
They did. Ooh. Don't forget your next point with Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.